Welcome, everybody. It's another exciting edition of the Sports Hole. I'm your host, Luke. With me, as always, XFL Jim, Rock and Roll Maddie Goldberg. Guys, week 1, college football.
Oh, yeah!
Jim, I gotta know, are those cookies homemade?
No, these are Subway cookies.
God,
Underrated.
so disappointing.
No, Subway underrated for
So
cookies.
disappointing to hear that.
Underrated for cookies, Maddie. Love a good Subway
Maddie
cookie.
can't believe it. Maddie only likes the best artisanal handmade food there is.
No, I bought cookies today. I was grocery shopping. I go, I want some chocolate chip cookies. I shoved out $6. Should I show you what I got?
Oh, the audience is dying to know.
Yeah, we need to know now. They don't call him Maddie 5-star Goldberg for nothing. He doesn't settle for less.
5-star. Maybe that's the new nickname, not rock and roll. 5-star.
Week 1 was amazing, though. It was perfect.
It's bitches and chocolate chip cookies. I have no idea if Tate's is any good, but I'm going to give it a shot. They look good.
They've been around for a while. I've always seen those in the stores. So,
and there's not a lot of Tate's out there.
Tate Martell's the only one that springs to mind.
Golden Tate.
Oh, yeah.
Tate Martell is, does he make the NFL roster? Did he ever beat out Justin Fields?
No,
who does he root for in college?
Probably UNLV, right?
I would think so.
Or the U?
I'd say probably UNLV. He was at Miami for what, 2 years?
I texted Jim too when it was 7-7. I didn't like Nebraska going for it. And I get a text from XFL. Go for it. You always go for it. No.
Jim, how are we feeling?
Hashtag, dude, for Nebraska fans out there, it was nice to watch a game, even against UTEP, where we weren't worried at all, and we dominated how we were supposed to dominate.
Yes, you did dominate.
I also fully believe that Dylan Raiola, at this moment, might be the best downfield passing quarterback Nebraska's had in like 30, 40 years.
Could be Heisman.
Has Nebraska ever had a downfield passing quarterback?
No, I'm trying to think the best one we ever. There was like one or two in between Eric Crouch and Taylor Martinez. There was like a couple they tried to sprinkle in. One of them was all right.
Was Frazier one?
No, Frazier was an option guy. He was a runner first.
Yeah.
Crouch was a runner.
Brooks Behringer was a runner.
There's not a lot.
Scott Frost got a job, by the way.
Yeah, he did.
He's living in LA.
Yeah, he's an analyst for the Rams, right?
Maddie, you should get some drinks with Scotty Frost. I bet you guys would have a great
we'll
time.
Golf at the Los Feliz Golf.
You could like his face will tell you how many drinks he's had. The redder it
played
gets.
9.
Yeah. Just fucking good. He's gonna go hang out at he probably thought he got hired at USC. He's just gonna go over there and hang out with the co-eds.
Yes, he will. Yes, he will. Watch out for that because now he's recently divorced, I think.
Oh yeah, the Frost prophecy is coming through.
Man, I'm drooling.
You watch Stuttering John too much. You're taking.
I watch Steel Toe too much. By the way, can I make an observation? I felt like some of these college, cupcake teams played better than we expected. And it was the first time it felt like a first round of the NCAA College March Madness where for about, most of the game with some of these schools will give a big school a game and then it will just be a runaway. I felt that way with Oregon. Like, you're like, wow, this is interesting. Idaho is hanging in there. I like this. Even with Fresno State versus Michigan, I was rooting for Michigan, but they made it very close for a while.
Yeah.
Late pick 6. But some of these, even Ohio State had trouble against Akron. It wasn't, a lot of teams did cruise, don't get me wrong, but would you say the margin has been closer to some of these cupcakes?
I'd say it's more likely that the teams that struggled had some more transfers that they were breaking in. And
quarterback change.
Yeah, the quarterback transfer being the big one.
Yes.
That they took a little bit of time to get gelled together. I think Ohio State was the big one. They looked a little rough in the first half, but there were a couple mistakes going on, and then they cleaned it up, and they just roll.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about like Ohio State. Oregon, maybe,
that was
because
the big one.
Oregon's issues weren't just like weird plays here and there. Their offensive and defensive lines were looking a little rough against Idaho.
I also think the quarterback wear in the NFL is so important. I think a lot of teams, like we've seen Alabama win with like a Blake Sims or somebody, where we saw Florida one year win with, I forget who his name was before Tebow. Like these are average college quarterbacks. Whereas now you're like, okay, Oregon loses Bo Nix and you see what they are. So some of these teams with less quarterbacks, you see what Florida State is. They were an undefeated team last year. Now they're 0-2 with DJ, who looks like he's,
he doesn't look good, but
not going well there.
Also, though, DJ's not playing defense for that team either. That defense is trash.
Come on, dude, come on.
He's not good, Matty. He's flat out not good. He's flat out not good. But also, like, he's not the only problem on that team. That team has like 4 issues wrong with it.
Yeah, but when you have a stud quarterback, he wills you to win.
How many people did they lose overall? Because they
lost a lot. They lost a lot.
So it's kind of strange because like everybody, if you're a Florida State fan, you haven't been good in like 20 years. So you're like, oh, wow, cool. We're back. And now this shit happens after you finally had like one really good year. It's got to be very disappointing.
Regression this year. And it was embarrassing last night. They were chanting for, I think, the backup quarterback. I mean, BC was a 17-point dog. I had them. I was kicking myself. I didn't sprinkle a little money line on that shit. I'm sure a lot of smart marks did because they knew how bad Florida State was. Bill O'Brien has experience. He's probably a good college coach. He did good with Penn State.
He had some success at Houston too. I mean,
a little bit.
Like, but I'm saying the quarterback is very important in college. I saw it with Michigan. Like Michigan, they're going to play well on defense, but like they don't have a quarterback right now. And
Maddie, that guy's a cancer survivor. Be nice on him.
What's that?
That guy's a cancer survivor. Be nice.
The way
why?
The way I'm imagining Michigan this year is like go back to the pre-JJ days when it was Cade McNamara back there. You'll still win like 9-10 games on defense alone. That defense is still going to be one of the best defenses in the country.
Yeah.
And the rushing attack will be really good.
It did get better as the game went on too. Like the line started to gel. Michigan is returning the 6th fewest starters in the FBS this year too. So they lost 13 players to the draft.
I just don't trust either whoever I forget the guy's name that they had out there to walk on, and I definitely don't trust Orgy.
Warren Davis.
Orgy and the other guy.
Orgy is no. I mean, like if he's in there, like unless he's doing like that early pass like he did where a rollout fake kind of run and then just dip it off to somebody. But man, the few passes he threw were abysmal,
And I also, compared to like JJ of the last few years, I definitely don't trust either one of these guys in the run game. Like I trusted JJ to be able to like just sneakily get one out where he just runs way faster than anyone expects him to.
Yeah,
JJ was very good.
JJ was a special QB. There's a reason why he was, drafted in the top 10. He was really great.
He also did what they needed him to do. He sacrificed himself. He handed the ball off when needed, and he looked great his first preseason NFL game. I'm excited for him next year. The other guy I want to talk about is I know Jim will give a positive spin on this guy, but Cade Klubnik,
he stinks.
This guy is
he stinks.
Bump.
I was hoping going into this season he would have progressed and would have gotten better. He stinks. He's not good. And Dabo just stands by his guys. And there's still a shot that Clemson can do a lot of damage in the ACC because the ACC stinks this year.
Well, Miami's going to be good.
Yeah, but do you trust Mario to like fully not have a fuck up? Because I don't.
No, but I could trust him to make the last 12th spot. The thing I want to say about Dabo, then I was thinking why, because Dabo keeps it real. And he had to protect Cade because once you trash the guy, it's over. So you're probably like, look, I'm going to give him one more shot. So why trash him? You know, you sometimes know certain guys don't handle being trashed too. So it's like, okay, I'm going to coddle him one more time because if I trash him, he might completely lose it. And I'll give it one more shot. But I think he probably would trash him if he believed in him. He would give him a kick in the ass if he did, but he knows if once he does that, it's over for this kid.
And Clemson, too, like Cade stinks, but also there's really no run game behind him. And their receivers that Clemson has, they're all young guys, and maybe they eventually become something. They're not great right now.
Well, it's just wild because they've really come
that
down
defense
to
is still
the
really
middle
good,
of the
though.
pack, Clemson. Well, whereas, Georgia's still up there. I'm sure Alabama's still up there. I have a buddy I played poker with. He went to Ole Miss. He will not shut the fuck up about him. Jim, you know a little more than me. Are they for real? Are they cupcakes?
Maddie's favorite person, Uncle Rico, actually bet Ole Miss to win the Natty this year.
Well,
they're legit. So I don't think anybody plays the transfer portal better than Lane Kiffin.
Yes.
They have one of the best quarterbacks in the country. They have hopefully filled out their things on defense. My thing with Ole Miss is the same thing I've had with Penn State. They beat and demolish every team they're supposed to, and then they always lose to the Georgias and Alabamas of the world. Like, no doubt. Well, so we'll see. We'll see.
I would say
I'll believe it when I see it.
Can win the Heisman.
He definitely can.
Because he's going to put up ridiculous numbers. Like, I think him and Quinn Ewers are probably the top two guys right now.
Don't you fucking forget about Tennessee's quarterback, dude.
Okay. What did you see, Luke, in week 1?
Nico Iamaleava.
Okay.
Is Tennessee's quarterback. He's legit.
What are some of your observations?
I don't again, you're talking a lot of blowouts. It's hard to gauge a lot in the first week. Like we were saying, a lot of teams adapting. Clemson, it's just over for them. Dabo is not adjusted. He doesn't take in any transfers. And again, they could win the ACC. It wouldn't be a long stretch at all, but they're never going to win a playoff game. Yeah, they're not with the big boys anymore like they used to be.
No, they're not.
It's strange that Dabo's still so young and is already stuck in these 85-year-olds' ways. It's insane.
Well, it's also like they're already calling for his head, and it's like he did win 2 national championships.
The best case scenario for Clemson is to get in the playoffs as the 4th seed and lose to somebody, probably.
Why wouldn't Miami beat him? I mean, Miami looks like a very good team.
Because I don't trust Mario Cristobal. And Cam Ward is due. Like, I watched Cam Ward play. He's really good. He makes some boneheaded throws every once in a while, dude. He's going to throw. And Clemson's defense is still legitimately one of the top defenses in the country. I fully believe that. Like a top 7, top 8 defense, easily.
He's a real deal, though. Like, as I was thinking, like, people would have talked about him last year if it wasn't for Michael Penix. I mean, it's hard when you're really good at Washington State and the guy at Washington is that much better. I mean,
he was probably one of the best transfers to get, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he's better than Dylan Gabriel. He was the guy to get over Dylan Gabriel. He's the guy to get over that Ohio State got. He was the guy to get, in my opinion. If you're looking for and DJ, oh my God, like, what are you thinking?
DJ stinks. We know what DJ is at this point. My other big takeaway for the week, I think Penn State's offense looks way better than it has these last few years.
Yeah, they balled out.
The OC that they have, Andy Kotelnicki, that they got from Kansas, has unlocked Drew Aller a little bit and made this offense very fun to watch. They already have one of the top defenses. I'm excited to see if Penn State can kind of get over the hump this year.
They could.
I think they make the playoffs.
The funny thing over the hump, like now getting over the hump includes like USC and Oregon.
They just got weird. To me, they got. I don't even remember if they play both.
Well,
Michigan
they're going to pass
Michigan
this year, in my opinion.
Should be.
They should, but they never do. Like,
I would have Ohio State.
I'm excited to see
Michigan right now. Honestly,
I was also impressed with Texas. Like
Texas looked
really good.
Even in years where they won some games since Mac Brown left, they didn't look good, in those seasons. Like they would win games like real shittily. But they shut out Colorado State, and they're no fucking great team, but doing those things proper against the teams you're supposed to do means something,
Let's also not forget about the comma fucking doors of Vanderbilt getting a win against a decent Virginia Tech team. I love Vanderbilt.
What do you guys think about
favorite quarterback in the league from Vanderbilt?
Again,
I don't care.
Another big game when his team was better. He comes out all cocky.
Do we know that his team's better? Do we know that?
Yes, they are. You could tell. By the way, first drive, put points on the board. Stop trying to be so goddamn. I know what he thinks, and he's got this alpha garbage where it's like you win the coin toss, and you're like, we want the ball. We're gonna take the ball. We're going to come down. We're going to shove it down your ass. Then you go for on fourth down. You fuck your team over. You essentially lose by a field goal that you gave up in the first drive. Now, some people I like aggression, whatever. I like points. Don't put your team in a bad spot. Don't give momentum to the other team. Get the 3 points.
When did Brian Kelly get there?
What's up?
What year did Brian Kelly get?
I think this is like LSU? His third year or fourth year.
This is his third or fourth. And I think he's lost 3 opening games in a row.
Since their undefeated season of 2019, they haven't won a season opener since 2019.
Yeah. Well, they do.
Did you see Kelly slamming his fist down the table and
that's Brian Kelly. Brian Kelly's a rage monster.
But he also came in so cocky. He was so cocky on the sidelines, like they're just going to come in there and crush him. And they got beat by a worse team.
Well, meanwhile, his old team he left Notre Dame, went in to fucking College Station and got a W against A&M.
Well, A&M's got a ways to go. They're still rebuilding. I like their coach.
Their defense is really good. I was super impressed with Notre Dame's offensive line. Only 6 starts between all those guys, and I think their left tackle is a true freshman. That is very encouraging for Notre Dame this season.
And Riley Leonard played well. It was good to see him back.
Connor Wakeman for A&M stinks. If you guys haven't ever heard him speak either, you should listen to him. He sounds hilarious.
My friend was like, he's going to win the Heisman. No.
You guys want to talk about the Colorado game?
Yeah, it was sloppy as hell.
Oh, what a piece of shit. By the way, I'll just say this. All they had to do was down it at the end of the game or run it. And mathematically, they could have run out the clock.
Yeah, very shades of Mario Cristobal. I think they were trying to run up points for Shadur or something like that.
You know what my feeling with
dumb.
Colorado looks like? It's like they got a couple elite players. They have no interior players. And then there's no game plan. There's no idea of how they want.
It was some of the worst clock management I've ever seen.
Yeah. It's like whatever clock management is, this was the opposite of it. It's like, let's see how bad.
I have a feeling.
God, I can't wait. I can't wait for week 2. I cannot wait.
Nebraska's gonna take them out.
Who's favorite in that game, Jim?
We're a 7.5 point favorite. Nebraska's
It
is at Nebraska. It's in Lincoln.
Well, Colorado's D looked very bad.
Their run D actually looked pretty decent, but their DBs are awful this year, aside from Travis Hunter.
Yeah. Well, that's I say they got a couple of league guys on.
By the way, are we thinking Travis Hunter for Heisman?
Dude, if he could somehow stay healthy and continues the thing with Travis Hunter, if he stays healthy and continues the level of production, because he played almost every snap in this game. The only time he went out is when he lost his helmet. If he continues that, then he's a legitimate candidate. But I'm worried about getting overproduction and getting hurt. Same thing that happened last year.
No,
Heisman pick.
I agree. I mean, the guy's insanely.
He's so good.
Yeah.
My Heisman pick is Vanderbilt quarterback Diego Pavia, by the way.
Wow. Did you put some money on that?
He'll be on a good team next year.
He's my vote.
Odds for him?
No, he's my vote, though. He is so good. He should get an invite. I don't care. Vanderbilt's going to be feisty this year.
Any other thoughts on week 1 here? I was actually impressed with. I mean, we talk about Brian Kelly losing shit, but USC finally looked well-rounded too.
Super well coached by Lincoln Riley.
Yeah.
Good defensive performance against what we assumed was going to be a pretty nice offense coming in from LSU.
Yeah.
USC looks legit. I trust the quarterback play.
Me too.
I like what they got going on. USC is going to be interesting.
And to me, that was like a road game for them, in my opinion.
Week 4.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
Week 4 is going to be very interesting when USC comes over to Michigan.
Yeah,
it's going to be a very interesting game.
We'll see where we're at. I think
USC
defensively we can hang, but the problem is if you get down and you're that Michigan offense, you know, with that newer quarterback.
Well, guess what? You know what Rick Rude used to say about hanging?
What?
In order to hang, you got to be hung.
I don't think it's out of this world for Michigan to be a 3-loss team.
I mean, I could see him losing 4 or 5.
4 is, I think 4 is the max I give them, because like Texas,
they're also on a hangover.
USC, Oregon, Ohio State.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a world I believe where Michigan should lose to Arkansas State, Minnesota, Washington, Illinois, Michigan State, Indiana, or Northwestern.
No, I don't know where how many numbers that puts us at, but I'll agree with that.
That's 4. If you lose to like all of the best teams you're playing, that's 4 losses.
Okay. Yeah, that's legit. And I think we could get one of those too, depending on where we're at. You know, but we'll see. I got to see it to believe it, because this is a whole new freaking team.
Yeah, week 4 is going to be a real. Actually, week 2 for Michigan is going to be super exciting when Texas comes to town.
Yeah, I can't wait. This is fun. This is the fun part of these.
So happy college football's back.
Yeah.
Each team's got about 3 less cupcake games a season.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, if Michigan wasn't playing Texas, they're probably playing.
Well, they're playing Arkansas State the next day.
Yeah, or like somebody bad, UNLV. So this is like a real, like now your shit gets real. You get one cupcake if you want to schedule a cupcake, and then shit gets real. And that's the way it should be. And it's fun and it's better.
I think you're going to have to, because we've talked about it before, when a bunch of these teams that are vying for a playoff spot are going to be at like 2 to 3 losses. You're going to have a bunch of like 9-3 teams. A couple of them are going to try and go to the playoffs.
Oh,
they're going to start. They're going to start grading the quality wins.
Yes,
you're going to have like
yes, sir.
Guess what? This team's 9-3, but they played FCS Northwestern. But this team's 9-3, but they barely lost to Texas. It's one of their losses. Texas is a top 5 team in the country. Boom, right there.
So would you? Okay, go on. Sorry.
Well, FYI, coming up this weekend, the Michigan-Texas game is one of only 2, top 25 matchups.
It's the big noon game, isn't it?
Yeah, it will be for East Coasters.
It's Fox's. It's Fox's big noon kickoff is what Fox likes to do.
If you're a college fan and you're not pumped for Nebraska, Colorado, those teams aren't ranked. Ooh. But just of the rivalry of last year, of the trash talking of Deion and Matt Rule, of their players, like, you got to be pumped. So even though there's not a lot of big marquee matchups,
right? No,
that's the big NBC game though.
Nationally, a lot of people are going to be looking at Colorado.
Wait, this is not on the rundown. But do you think Fall Out Boy signed like a contract with college football to have a shitty song every year?
Are they still?
Well, this year on ESPN. No, this year on ESPN I think for game day it's Jelly Roll.
Well,
I don't even know Jelly.
NBC
I don't know one song.
Feels like Saturday night. Like every year, fucking Fall Out Boy has a jock jam song.
Well, that Elton John song's probably too expensive. Saturday.
Well, every year it's Fall Out Boy.
I want to, actually like the Bay City Rollers would be the best. SATURDAY.
Yeah, that's good.
That's a good one. You can even play the
Dustbin
version of it.
If I want to pick my top 5 games of week 2.
Yes.
Texas, in no particular order, but they're all up there. Texas, Michigan. I think Georgia Tech, Syracuse is a very fun game. Syracuse looked very interesting.
Okay, I'll agree.
I wanted to do that one, but no. I was gonna say Kansas City, Illinois, but that's not really.
What about Oklahoma State?
Oh, sorry, Iowa State's fun.
Always a good one.
El Asico, the Cy-Hawk Trophy is really good. Colorado, Nebraska's up there, gotta be. And then Boise State at Oregon. 10 p.m. Eastern. If Oregon plays like they did last week, Boise will destroy them. What did Boise's like? Did you guys see the running back stats for Boise State last week?
No.
Let me see, because
but that was also against Georgia Southern.
Georgia Southern's not a bad they are not a bad G5
school.
It was
56 to 45.
But then again, Oregon couldn't even blow out Idaho.
So here are Ashton Genty's stats: 20 carries for 267 yards and 6 touchdowns.
Sounds like a Tecmo ball.
Yeah, that's pretty nuts.
I don't know if Oregon plays like they did last week, because Oregon looked legitimately not good against Idaho.
I mean,
Idaho's like a fairly decent. They're like a pretty good FCS school, but it's still Idaho versus Oregon.
Fucking cupcake 40-point spread game to start your season out, where it's just a glorified scrimmage. And there was time.
The only school I think you could do better is whoever Kansas played. Because Kansas played a school who 4 years ago was a D2 school.
Yeah, well, that's what happens, man.
I'm just so excited. I'm so happy right now. I'm so
excited. And then in 2 days, the NFL. I got a fantasy draft in 90 minutes.
I just did a fantasy draft yesterday.
Did you get Tyreek Hill? I got him in one of my leagues.
No, Matty, I did not.
There are expected to be $35 billion in bets this season. And that's a 30% increase from last season.
Well, it's becoming, every site has betting. ESPN.
More people bet on the NFL than the GDP of most African countries.
More states legalized it.
Yes. Only about 3 though. It's not a ton.
More people pushing it. More sites pushing it. It's everywhere now.
Speaking of that, some dumb tennis broad. I know I'm gonna get in trouble for saying that, but she lost. And then she started crying about how she gets death threats on, Twitter or whatever. And she blamed gambling. She's like, now that gambling has become more mainstream, you get more wackos out there. And look, I don't want anybody to give her death threats. I don't want anybody to do this or that. There's just crazy people out there on the internet. It might not be linked to gambling, but I don't like when these people lose. And then they come on and then they do their whole grandstanding of what they think should be in that. It's sports gambling is part of sports. It's been part of sports since sports started. It's what keeps sports going. There's a giant economy of why you make a lot of money through gambling. So you lose, you don't want to be on Twitter. You don't want to deal with death threats. Get off Twitter, but at the same time, we don't need you to trash gambling because of what what you're going through, which every athlete goes through.
Matty is white knighting for gambling right now.
Yeah, he is.
I would assume every athlete gets death threats.
Do you want to hear my thing that I hate about sports gambling when it comes to things? No, I mean, yeah, but losing's part of it. I love the sweat.
Yeah.
I hate the coverage of it from sites like ESPN and Fox and whatever, from people who obviously don't gamble.
No.
I don't want them to force when it feels like it's super forced into the broadcast.
Yeah.
I absolutely hate it.
Well,
just bring on somebody. Just bring on somebody to talk about it for a little bit.
So Al Michaels was the greatest because
if he was still doing it, he would be great.
Well, what he used to do was he used to go, there'd be a garbage touchdown at the end of the game. He goes, there's a couple people that, this might be a blowout, but there's a few people that are excited about that touchdown.
See, stuff like that is awesome.
That's funny. Yes. Just being honest about it too. That's insane to. I've heard a few more of those comments.
To talk about it until now, and now
I don't need to hear Kirk Herbstreit's bet of the game, stuff like that.
Well, I don't know. I never watch those shows because I can't watch.
No, it's just on the regular broadcast they do it.
Well, you're not allowed to pick the game you're broadcasting. That's been going on for years.
No, but the people at the analyst desk will pick they think all the time, and it's now it's a gambling. It's stupid. That's a pet peeve I have.
Did ESPN launch their own gambling thing yet?
They're with Penn, so Penn went from Barstool, now it's ESPN Bet.
Right, that's why Penn gave Barstool back to Dave because it couldn't be associated with him anymore.
Then he reinstated all the troubled employees he had. He's like, okay, you're hired again.
Yeah. Right. I like how there's a big morality thing, but then it's like, oh, but we're gambling.
Yeah.
You know, like, oh, this guy called someone a slut 2 years ago on air. But hey, we'll take all of your children's college fund.
Yeah, but you know what? Here's the thing. We want you like alcohol. You should drink responsibly. You should gamble responsibly. I firmly believe that. I know it's gonna make Jim sad, and I love gambling on football, but it's a crapshoot. I don't know anything. You're lucky if you go 50% for the year,
especially with the NFL.
Yeah, so
it's the sharpest market on the planet.
There really is no science to it, but if you bet responsibly, it adds so much more fun to the game. And if you have the money, it's like it's a fun thing to do.
You guys, do you guys keep ledgers of we've talked about this before. I don't know. I didn't really.
I got a spreadsheet. Yeah. I got a spreadsheet.
Poker, I have an app that does it well with the net. It puts everything in, money, gas money, tips, food, whatever.
Okay.
So it really tells you what I win net, and I do it for real. But gambling, sports, I don't really do it. But it's for me, it's like for $100 a week, I'll throw it around and I'll win. I'll be up $100 1 week. I'll be down 100.
Man, get a ledger. Yeah. Come on, do it.
I got a spreadsheet that
I think there's another. I think there are other apps that will.
I'll tell you what. I'll give you my bets. I'll text you my bets, and we'll do a plus minus for it.
Yeah, please do. And I think it'd be some educational of my bets are
like right now. I got $15 on this Red Sox Mets game.
Yeah,
over 7.5 because I need just a little juice for the afternoon. It passes the time as
no juice,
as Oscar Isaac said in the card counter.
Yeah, no, I get it. I'm
quoting the great movie.
Yeah, Paul Schrader at his finest. So we had some NFL news today. Trent Williams and Ayuk are back in the Niners. Ayuk news broke a few days ago. So they're all 49ers all back. But what do you guys think are some of the biggest storylines this season as we approach week one of the NFL?
Mine is
Will Levis passing yards leader.
Whoa, that's one of the dumbest things I've ever heard.
Hey, you heard it here second. I heard it from the SGP guys. They put a ticket out on it.
I have to say first, which is embarrassing. Look, NFL is like a reality show, like a full season. We don't know what's gonna happen. I'll never forget when the Ray Rice thing came out. Like I never saw that coming, and that like just blew the league up. The Tom Brady with the balls. Something weird is going to happen between T Swift and Travis Kelce.
Okay. Did you hear this news? Did you hear the news, Maddie? It broke a little earlier ago. No one knows quite what to think of it, but somebody did find a document that was basically Travis Kelce's like promotional team that was outlining a contract he had with Swift, and that they were supposed to be announcing a breakup on September 28th. And this was all how they were going to do it and how they were going to split amicably and put these nice things in the Instagrams and things like that. So basically this is being accused of a showmance, as they say, not a real romance, a contrived relationship, which happens all the time in Hollywood.
I don't know why they would do it during the season, but it's a show. It's a reality show, and that's one of the stories. I think the rookie quarterbacks are going to all be really good. That's one of the things I predicted. So that's one of my things, one of the stories. And I think there might be some new blood, like some new good teams out there.
Who are you picking for the Super Bowl?
I'm going to say I talked to my neighbor today. I said either Cincinnati, Baltimore versus the Lions, but I will go Cincinnati, Lions. Two of the toughest shit franchises. One of them will win a Super Bowl this year.
Wow. Ruther versus Rosencrantz.
Yes.
It was a tough pick. I went with the Bengals 49ers for mine.
All right.
Okay.
That's my Super Bowl.
I mean, 49ers can definitely get back.
I think they get back there. I think the 49ers get there.
The other story of the season could be.
I'm excited for Harbaugh and the Chargers. I'm excited to see how they look.
I'm also kind of excited to see what Bo Nix can do. I have a feeling he might be the surprise of the season. I love them week 1 at Seattle. I love them. They're a +6 dog. It's one of those games that nobody's going to see them coming, and they're going to be coming. For some reason, I believe in Denver in that spot. That's my lock of the week.
It's Maddie's big titty lock of the week.
Well, I mean, they were winning some games at the end of last season.
Yeah.
So
I just have a
if he can
feeling
play comparable to what Russell Wilson
radar.
was giving him, I don't see why not.
Yeah.
What about Caleb Williams? You think rookie of the year? He's seems like he's got the supporting cast for it.
I love what they're doing. I mean, they're never known for a wide receiver offensive team. They have a great wide receiver room, like Romy, DJ Moore, and fucking the kid they got. What's his face from the Chargers?
Allen.
3.
Oh yeah, Keenan Allen.
Keenan Allen. 3 great wide receivers, and Cole Kmet. That's sick. They're like a top 5 wide receiver team.
Right. And then I don't know how good their line is supposed to be, but he's a scrambling quarterback, so he'll buy you time even if it's not great. So.
I think he's gonna be so good. I think he's gonna be amazing. I think I've been a Caleb Williams guy forever. So I'm
he's Friday night could be
fantastic.
Because the game's in Brazil and
wait, when it's on Friday night?
Yeah, there's a Packers-Eagles game in Brazil. How hot must it be?
It's on Peacock, Luke.
In September.
Oh, good. I got Peacock.
In Brazil, it's got to be like 100. Like, it's got to be so hot.
This is the most Jewish thing you've ever said.
And you're not allowed to wear green there.
What time's the game?
People playing in the
probably 8.
It's gonna be so hot.
What time are they playing, Maddie?
Green.
What's
because
that?
There's gangs. They can't wear the color green.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, the Brazilian gangs.
It's gonna be humid in there.
What time are they playing tomorrow?
Probably 8.
They're gonna get Zika virus.
8. So it's a high of 68 that day.
Oh, never mind.
It's hot. They're the southern hemisphere. It's their fucking winter, bro.
Oh, see how much I know.
If it's 8, it'll be in the mid 60s.
It's not like I went to Harvard or anything.
It'll be absolutely beautiful out.
Yeah. No. Yes, this is southern hemisphere. It's their winter. It's the opposite of us.
Well, see how much I know because I'm like they're gonna play in like 100-degree weather.
No. Meanwhile, the fucking Miami Dolphins and fucking Jaguars, those boys are gonna be playing in the heat.
Oh, gross! That is pretty disgusting.
Tua is the most overrated quarterback.
Maddie, you shut the fuck up. Tua for MVP this year. I don't care. He's gotten better every year. He has gotten better every year.
I thought he regressed at the end of the last season.
Maddie, I thought you regressed the moment you were born.
Whoa!
God damn it!
But it's kind of true.
That's a fact too. That's a fact, Jack.
I'm captain of QAnon for a reason.
There's one other story. It came out like early last week after the show. But so the NFL is now allowing teams to sell like a 10% stake to private equity firms.
I hate this.
Yeah, I think this is the worst, dumbest shit they could do.
You mean like the Packers?
Everybody hates them. B, they're gonna get their claws in and start to get what they want at some point.
Yep.
And that is just, if you think the NFL's oversaturated in too staggered, playing on weird different streamers and shit like that, wait. Just wait.
Maddie, not quite like the Packers. It's these like conglomerate investment groups and private equity firms can now invest into like up to 10% of an NFL team.
It's the opposite of the Packers. Whereas the city owns them, so it's the interest of the city for how they do. This is like the interest. Basically, the private equity people are the people who like buy like Toys R Us and then suck as much value out of it as they can, and now they're all like closed. Yeah.
It's like fake college boosters.
I don't know.
There's also, speaking of which, though, there is like talk of people of private equity trying to get into like college football too for conferences, and it's gross.
Don't even get me started. College football
I
is
hate
just at the beginning of
I hate
what
it, dude.
it's going to be.
To me, what this signals for this year is that NFL teams will be 10% more annoying and 10% worse.
Yes, they will. I'm telling you, NFL, like the fact, like just watching college football, right? And luckily I have Peacock because we watch some shows on Peacock. Otherwise, I'd just be pissed. I'm like, now I got to get a fucking Peacock. That's not even a very popular streamer. So it's one thing if you're putting games on shit people have, like Netflix and Prime. Odds are a lot of people have that already. But putting them on lesser streamers is just a real dick move. So
I'm not about it. I'm
not about it either. And it's just going to be, everything's going to be very fractured for a long time.
I feel like slowly but surely we're moving into a space where it's just getting to be a worse and worse product.
Well, there was a time when one team, like you knew, you turned on ABC and that's where your team's going to be playing every week, you know?
I just hate private equity getting involved at all. Cause I know you guys probably don't, but I follow like some esports stuff, like some pro like gamer stuff, and private equity. I know, nerdy loser. Yes. But private equity got into that pretty early and it just ruined the entire experience for a lot of shit.
I believe it.
They're going to get these investments in, and then all of a sudden they're going to want, like, if they get more and more sway, private equity isn't going to want to see things like.
Private equity does not care about the product at all. They just are trying to pull as much value out of the product as possible. They don't care if it's good or not. They will run businesses into the ground and get everything else they can get out of it. It's like, did you watch The Sopranos?
Red Lobster. They did it with Red Lobster.
Yeah, like The Sopranos when the guy lost the card game and he had to give his shop to Tony, and Tony's just like, okay, I'm gonna pull out all the fucking current hardware you have, all the fun stuff you have, and now I'm gonna burn your building to the ground. Literally.
By the way, that was the best Sopranos of all time.
That was great. That
was a great arc.
Yeah,
that was a great arc.
It said a lot about the duality of Tony Soprano.
Yes.
So literally a couple of days ago, he was looking at colleges with that guy.
Right.
And then he's like, yeah, you don't want to get in this card game. It's not for you.
That guy,
guy had to get in the fucking card game.
And he ended up killing himself. He went kind of nuts and then he killed himself at the end. Not of that episode. They kind of would mention him throughout the rest of the series. But,
it was a nice little arc.
Yeah. But
I liked how he gave his daughter his son's truck for her birthday. That made me laugh.
I got this for you.
Yeah.
Meadow. Man. All right. Anything else to talk about week one, or are we just going to sit back and wait
I'm pumped for Thursday, baby. Yeah.
I'm pumped for so much football. I don't know if I'll be able to breathe at the end of this next weekend.
You won't be. Okay. Sad news. We had the NHL Johnny Gaudreau and his brother were killed by a drunk driver. How many times are we doing this here? Like, I feel like this is becoming a monthly occurrence.
Horrible story.
Yeah. So they were planning on the Gaudreau's sister's wedding was supposed to be this last weekend.
Yeah.
And then the brothers were in riding bikes, and they were
in the bike lane.
Yes. And drunk driver was pissed. The traffic was going slow. So he passes someone on the right side, which is just the bike lane apparently, and took them both out.
Because apparently the person in front of him was getting over a little bit to make room for the two people on the bikes.
Oh, yeah.
And then he decides, instead of passing on the left, now I'm going to pass on the right. Oh, two bicyclists. I'm drunk. I don't give a fuck. I'm an asshole. Boom.
What did he hit him on the side, or like how did
I don't know.
Quite know the full
it's
details.
Such a horrible story. I haven't even been able to read about it because it's just so.
No, it's so unnecessary. It's so heartbreaking.
It's just so awful.
I mean, that woman was planning her wedding, and weddings are just like the funnest time if you have fun families and friends. And then this shit happens.
Fuck that guy. Let him rot in prison.
That guy apparently too was like an army major that was running rehab clinic And he was also like, and then apparently he was like kind of bummed he was going to be in jail all weekend. Like, oh, I'm going to be in here all weekend. Like,
Oh yeah,
dude,
it
you're going to be in
sucks.
there for like 20 years. So
Why would they even give him bail?
I don't know, but enjoy that freedom while you got it, buddy, and try not to kill anyone in
Well,
between
fuck
now
him.
and when you get
Yeah.
sentenced.
Sick bastard.
Fucking
It's so easy
dumbass.
not to drive drunk and do drugs driving. It's so crazy when you hear it because it sucks because people go, well, I've done it 1,000 times, never anything happened. Yeah, that one fucking time though. Just try it, asshole. It's not
Yeah.
worth it.
No, it's a plague, man. And I don't know where this was, but most places have Ubers and Lyfts, taxis. So it's like you got a plan when you're drinking, But
Yes.
obviously, if this dude was drunk in the middle of the day like that, he's probably just an alcoholic. So
Well, that's what these assholes think because they're like, well, I've done it 1,000,000 times, so what's the big deal? And it's like, well, yeah, a lot of people have, but that one fuck, it's not even a fuck up. It's just it's gonna get you, dude.
yeah. Also had a soccer death too. That Uruguayan soccer player Juan Izquierdo died of like a heart arrhythmia.
Ah, Jesus.
I'm sure everybody's gonna.
What's that, Maddie?
Well, anytime this happens, people are like, the vaccine, the vaccine.
Well, I read the comments. Luckily, no one fucking said that. They did lock the post, so maybe somebody said it down there. But
that's Reddit though. Like, if this on Facebook would go crazy.
But this is like the funny thing on Reddit though is a lot of people were like, "This happened to my brother when he was just sitting." Like it. This is a thing. People have that happened to Pistol Pete Maravich.
Yeah.
Like
Yep.
unfortunately these things happen, and I don't know how you even if you can preemptively detect these things or not, and what you would do. It's just so bizarre, but very sad. This guy had a 10-day-old baby. Luckily, he got to meet it though before the game.
Jesus, he had a 10-day-old baby.
10-day-old baby, dude. Now he's dead. All right, we had a nice foible online via the Red Sox announcers proposing some romance here. Just listen to this.
I'd like to get back to Boston Golf Club if you'd have me. The 0-1 is skied into shallow left field. That's toward the line. Long run for both Rafaela and O'Neill into the seats, and it's 0-2. How about a little threesome? This booth, we could do some damage.
Yeah, these guys just turned into children.
On the golf course, 0-2 to Ernie Clement.
Belty had to say.
Well, we kind of know what they're talking about.
Nah,
it wasn't as bad as Brenneman.
Who? What?
Tom Brenneman when he called out San Francisco on a hot mic.
Oh, yeah. Repeat that for us, Maddie.
I'd rather not. It happens. There's threesomes on the golf course.
Dude, how much Paralympics you guys watching? Jim, how much money have you lost betting on the Paralympics?
I'll be honest, it's football season. I haven't really done nothing with the Paralympics. I saw a sick archer video, like a clip of a woman with no legs doing an archery contest. She was, oh my God, it was impressive.
It's insane. But there was like this promotional video where it shows like these, like the wheelchair players, basketball players getting knocked over, and swimmers like running head first because they have no arms or whatever into the lane. I don't know what you call it, the end touchpad, I guess. Like, so people were all upset, but they're like, they defended it. They're like, no, this is rough, dude. It's not easy. Like,
this
we're
ain't
trying
easy
to show you.
shit.
And it is nuts. If you look at that stuff, they're like, they have to like wheel someone up to the swimming podium because they have one leg. Like, that's it. They have no arms, just like one leg. This guy gets in the water and just fucking tears it up.
Badass as hell.
It's pretty insane. It's very inspirational if you ever want to watch it. I get up and I'm like, I'm a little sleepy. I'm not going to do anything today. and I'm fully abled, and these guys just get up and fucking train with this shit. Blind people like running marathons. It's pretty cool. Just my 2 cents.
I love this. I'm watching the clips from the link you sent.
Yeah.
These are great. These are amazing. I love Go Paralympics.
Yeah. It's really
have fun with it. Why the hell not, right?
Well, also it gets people watching, I mean,
yeah.
There will be some bozos that take it like the wrong way, but
and there will be people that take it too far.
Someone like me who doesn't know much about it and would probably not be inclined to watch to begin with is like, oh, okay, this is not what I thought it was. This is pretty cool. So
I like it. I dig it.
Yeah. Sorry, there was also, just so you know, during the 2000 Paralympic Games in Sydney, Spain was like crushing it, and it turned out they weren't really disabled.
They did the ringer.
They did the ringer.
That's why would you even try and do? Why? Like, what's the point? Do you get anything for winning the Paralympics?
It's all about winning, dude.
I guess
in the end,
people are psycho. I read this whole article about this woman that ran these marathons that were amateur marathons and would just cheat to no end and take bicycles and like these woodsy marathons and take shortcuts. She would they would put a transponder on her so they knew where she was, and she would like fucking bang it against a tree so it would break, and then she'd be like, oh, it broke. I don't know. Like, people are insane when it comes to sports and winning anything and getting any type of attention. It's pretty crazy.
That's people are crazy.
Yeah. You've been keeping up on Caitlin Clark?
It's kind of impossible not to, right?
Right. I mean, it's like, yeah. And it's not like manufactured stories. She's
being
crushing it.
Yeah, she's just everywhere.
But it's funny though, because I think ESPN in their latest Rookie of the Year poll for WNBA put Angel Reese over Caitlin Clark. I
wonder why.
So for Angel Reese's credit, she has already broken the single season rebound record.
The highest stat is rebounding. That's the most important stat, man.
All you got to do is ask people one thing, and you just go honestly. You don't even have to you can do this anonymously. You can start a franchise. You can have Caitlin Clark or Angel Reese. Who are you taking? And like, if you're gonna take Angel Reese, then we can't have any sort of credibility, because you're supposed to watch sports for a living and be experts on it. And when you can't legitimately be honest about something, then you lose all credibility.
Also, it's like rebounding everybody knows rebounding does not affect a game.
And I like Angel Reese. I mean, I like her
too, and I don't want to take credit away from her, but also she doesn't finish around the rim worth shit, so she ends up rebounding a lot of her own stuff.
They played Saturday or Friday, and I think they played Saturday, and it wasn't even close. Like,
did you see some of the passes freaking Caitlin Clark was making?
One team is going completely up, and the other team is kind of stuck. And about 2 months ago, they were like a 1-point game, the two teams between each other. Now they're a 20-point
6-1 since the All-Star break.
Go ahead and give her the Rookie of the Year if you
up
think
to notch.
Legit.
It's so insane that I've seen clips of Cheryl Swoops too. Like, it was a legend in the WNBA talking shit about Caitlin.
They don't want to give her credit. It's weird.
They hate her.
Yeah.
Even LeBron James wants to give her credit.
Oh yeah, dude, he's not an idiot. And it's just good for everybody.
It's insane.
It's
insane.
It's good for men's basketball.
She's kicking ass quietly. She's just winning. Their team is better. They're winning. They're getting better. It's all about wins. Even if she doesn't win Rookie of the Year, who cares? She's gonna have a lot of championships. A lot faster than Chicago will.
She could,
and that's what it's all about.
Be in the talks for Player of the Year at this point. She's in the top. She's leading in assists. She's top 10 in scoring. Her team has won way more games already than they did last year. So it's nuts. Of course, we had Ricky Pearsall got shot.
Yep.
And is already out of the hospital.
They said what, 3 weeks? He's only out like 3 weeks.
I think they put 4 games.
Oh, okay.
3 to 4 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe 4 weeks. I don't know what that means game wise, but yeah. Thank God, some 17-year-old shot him at a signing he was doing just for a fucking Rolex watch.
Fuck that guy too.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
Yeah.
He'll probably get out in a week.
No, oh, because it's San Francisco.
Probably.
Oh, no harm, no foul. He's okay. Let the kid go. He's just a victim of the system. All right. One last thing I want to talk about this week, and I do have some opening themes for this one. All right. Untold. Connor Stallions.
Yeah.
Maddie watched it. I don't know. Jim, did you watch it?
No, I still haven't. I've seen clips and bits and pieces of it, but I haven't.
I enjoyed it a lot.
I'm on Connor Stallion's side, if that means anything.
It was fascinating because it's not just like about Connor Stallions, it's about this world of sign stealing and
I mean, he's like a coder.
Yeah.
He can decode.
Right.
Like he can probably figure out the Zodiac killer.
Yeah. It's probably him.
And every team has one, it seems, and that's kind of the way it is.
Yeah, it was just crazy. And Maddie, when he was telling me about the doc, was saying that Ohio State didn't look good. And after watching, I concur because it really looks like Ohio State like hacked into Michigan's program, like, which is completely, that's not just an NCAA violation. That's a freaking criminal federal offense. So I don't know how they go forward with that evidence unless they can point to where they got it from, because they won't say where they got it from. I will say it looks like he probably went a little too far, and it also looked like it didn't have much impact on the game, being egregious. Because
I also feel like that's going to be going away with mics and the helmets now.
That's gone. It's done.
Yeah, it's just gone.
Yeah. I mean, like you had, you know, the funniest part was like Michigan State, like, oh man, they know all, it's not even safe to play these guys. And then they they ran in every play. They didn't even do signals. They ran it in with a player, lost 49-0. And then we're still saying Michigan was cheating. It's unbelievable.
That was very funny.
It was very good documentary. I learned a lot about the whole culture of guys that can read signs, and it's just part of the game. And you know, maybe Michigan took it a little too far, but it just seems like every team is doing it. Every team has one of these guys, and it's part of the culture of college football. So I think everybody is just going to let it go. I don't think anybody is going to be like Michigan are a bunch of cheaters after watching it and whatever. But it was a good documentary.
And one thing I noticed that I haven't heard anybody else brought up, that was produced by LeBron James.
Wow, I didn't know that.
He's an Ohio State diehard. And if Michigan looked that good in a film produced by a guy who wanted to go to Ohio State, if he wasn't going to go to the pros, then I would like to know what a freaking Michigan slanted one looks like.
I will never get over, and I will always slander LeBron James for not rooting for Akron. Like he should.
He did this week.
Did he?
No, I don't know. No idea.
He should root for Akron. That's the hometown. He didn't go to college. He should root for his hometown.
That's like Chad Zumach. Chad Zumach, he's not an Ohio State fan. He's a Kent State fan.
Yeah. Oh. Go Golden Flashes.
Well, Golden, you know who went to Kent State, don't you?
Josh Cribbs, Julian Edelman.
And more
Antonio Gates.
More culturally impactful. Antonio Gates didn't go there.
He did. He went to Kent State, played basketball there.
Oh, he played basketball there.
The MAC had some interesting players.
But more importantly, Devo went to Kent State.
Yeah.
You had the Buffalo Springfield song about the Kent State massacre. So, Kent State got a lot of cultural significance. Can anybody tell me what a zip is, though, for the Akron football team?
No idea.
I mean, it's a kangaroo of some sort, right?
It's a kangaroo?
That's what their mascot
Sometimes they have
is.
mascots that don't.
Well, look it up one day.
That's what their logo is.
I get it. Sometimes you can have a logo that doesn't necessarily reflect.
Oh, here you go. Campus-wide contest was conducted in 1927. A campus-wide contest was conducted to choose a nickname for the university's athletic teams. Student Margaret Hamlin suggested Zippers, which was also the name of a popular rubber overshoe sold by Akron BF Goodrich Company. So they went with Zips because it's zippers.
There you go.
The zipper was a shoe.
It was a type of shoe.
Okay. That makes sense. I thought it was just one of those names you came up with after the local Indian tribe said you can't use their name anymore.
No.
That's cool. I didn't know it went back that far.
My high school had something similar to that because my high school was called the Whippets, but not for like anything like that. It's because there was an old like Model T type of car.
Yes.
Yes. And that's what the school's named after. And then the mascot's like a dog.
Yeah, there was a Whippet dog that's like a greyhound.
Yeah.
I used to live with one. And then there was when I went to go see Tyrone Wheatley in high school. He played in the national championship, the Pontiac Silverdome, and the team he played against was the Kingsford Flivvers, which was a car too, an old ass car back in the day.
I would also just like to mention I saw my favorite fake punt of the week, maybe of the year.
Yeah,
it was a high school game.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of like a normal fake punt where you go for the punt and do a regular play, the punter gets the ball and then underhand threw it. So it looked like a regular punt.
Uh-huh.
And then one of their players darted down and caught the quote unquote punt.
Oh, what was this? What game was this in?
This was a high school game.
Oh.
I'll send the link to it for you, Luke. I'll send the link.
Awesome. And it worked?
It worked. And then the worst case scenario, it's just a pick, which ends up as a punt because he threw it about as far as like a short punt would go.
Okay. Nice. I like that in the right circumstance.
Yeah, the punter gets the ball and then just underhand tossed it.
Simply amazing.
So it was beautiful. It was like a nice little fun pass.
I like me a fun pass. All right. Anything else to add before we get out of here this week?
I will be on my show on the Gymnasium. I'm spinning the wheel for the NFL team that I will be kind of rooting for this season. Whatever team. So I did it with college football and on Northwestern. For college football, if the Northwestern Wildcats somehow win a national championship, I have to get a tattoo.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a wheel of all NFL teams. Whatever team it lands on the wheel, if that team wins a Super Bowl this upcoming year, I have to get one of my nipples pierced.
Even if that's like the Chiefs or 49ers?
If it's the Chiefs, 49ers, whichever team this wheel lands on, if they win a Super Bowl, this is tonight, Maddie. The live show's tonight.
I'll be watching right after.
Who are you hoping it lands on, Jim?
Honestly, kind of the Dolphins, because then I'd be
that's not fair. That's double dipping.
I mean, that'd be fun.
It would be funny if it landed on the Lions and they won and you had a Lions championship tattoo and I did not.
No. It's not a tattoo. It's not a tattoo. So for the NFL, I'm getting my nipple pierced.
Oh, your nipple.
Well, yeah, my left nip.
Are you going to get like a special commemorative ring for it?
Oh, if I can get like a ring or a bolt that has like a lion on it too, like the Detroit logo.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
If it lands on the Lions. We'll see who it lands on.
Bobby Lane used to have those. That's what he played in those.
But I got it's a fun wheel. All the NFL teams, whichever one it lands on, that's the one.
Is that right now?
That's exciting.
We're gonna go live, Maddie, like right after we're done here. So by the time you're listening to this show, it will have already
Is tonight the end of the Bachelorette, or is
tonight
it
is the night, Maddie? But I'm
All
going out
right,
for my
let's
anniversary,
go.
so no spoilers, okay?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Because I've already found my one true one. So
All
Jen
right,
will just
buddies.
have to wait.
I'm gonna run. I gotta run.
All right, you guys take care. We'll see
Love
you
you,
guys
boys.
all next week. Thank you so much for tuning in. And we'll see you next week for another exciting edition of the Sports Hole.
Sports
Bye-bye.
Hole!